What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Just Joe BTS. Today we are actually going to be talking about Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, and this one should be pretty short because I don't have a lot to say on this movie. Alright, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is the sequel to Ghostbusters Afterlife, which was the remake slash sequel, we'll call it a remakeable, of the earlier Ghostbusters movies. It basically skipped over the all-female Ghostbusters movie that was made back in the mid-2000s because they just did not want to even acknowledge that that one existed. So here we are. Frozen Empire is directed by Gil Kenan, something like that. Anyway, he is not really credited as a director on many projects. He is credited as a writer on the previous Ghostbusters movie, Ghostbusters Afterlife, and then came back to be a director on this one. Now, he flip-flopped with Jason Reitman. Jason Reitman directed Afterlife, and now he's credited as a writer in Frozen Empire. And I feel like he's credited as a writer in this only because he kind of handed off the reins of the Ghostbusters franchise after he directed Afterlife. Now, speaking to the last film, Jason Reitman is a fantastic director. I'm a huge fan of most of his films. He has a few misses in his career as well. He's not perfect. Very few directors are, but I'm a huge fan of his directing style and really his way of storytelling and attacking a film. Now, Gil Kenan, this movie just feels like it didn't have a director really attached. It goes all over the place quite a bit. And it seems like it has 5 different stories that it's interested in telling, and it's not really sure which one it's most interested in telling as the main plot. And so it's just constantly jumping around to different things. Really lost me early on in this because I didn't know which storyline I was really supposed to be rooting for as the main. It just takes a while to get kind of going on the main storyline. Your villain doesn't show up until the last 10 minutes of the movie, it feels like. What does Ghostbusters Frozen Empire do well? It really has a good time with the characters it has a few fun moments reminiscing on old times with the Ghostbusters franchise, just to try to keep that fanfare and nostalgia alive. I think it's kind of dead. They should have let it go. But if there's one thing it does well, it does a good job of drawing in old viewers to see this movie again because they market it well with the old actors and actresses. They actually give them some screen time in the movie. It's not completely overrun by new actors and actresses with just a few cameos. That does come with one exception, though. Bill Murray is basically not in this movie. I feel like Bill Murray is literally only in this movie because they wrote him a blank check and were like, hey, we really, really need you on the poster. So whatever you want, you've got it. You just need to be in this movie for about 5 minutes so we have some stuff we can cut into the trailer.
Heads up. It's all dark and horny at 12 o'clock.
The whole movie feels like an afterthought, more dollar store Ghostbusters than anything. It gives you the little bit that you want, that you're expecting out of a Ghostbusters movie. It gives you that much of it. But when it really comes down to it, the story, the plot, the villain, the everything, it just really isn't there. It's just, it keeps you moving for 2 hours or so. It's a little less than 2 hours, which I was actually really grateful for because 2 hours was long enough. But in that 2 hours, you don't feel like you really accomplish much. And then the villain comes out and you're hoping that maybe this will be the part that saves it in that third act. And it doesn't really deliver. There's not enough happening that's very interesting or consequential. Now, I will say, for most of the actors and actresses in here, I feel like they knew this movie was going to be a joke to some extent. You know, you don't really see Paul Rudd giving it his all in this movie, not even the same amount that he gave it in the last movie, but definitely he knows he's dialing it in and taking this for the paycheck more than anything else. Now, McKenna Grace is fantastic. She was fantastic in the last one. She gets even more screen time in this one than she did in the last one. I think she's doing a fantastic job in the movie. I just don't think they're giving her enough to work with. Same with Finn Wolfhard. He's been better. He's been a lot better. He was given the script, read over it, and just did it because he did the first one. You know, I think everyone joined into this project on the last movie thinking these would go somewhere, and it just feels very studio produced. You know, those movies that just are there to exist and maybe rake in a few dollars, but really at the core, they didn't put any time into the writing or anything of the movie. That brings me to the writing. The writing is very weak. The plot is paper thin. There's a lot of plot holes. There's a lot of things that go wrong in the movie that really could be avoided, and there's things that don't make sense. So ultimately, my thoughts on Ghostbusters Frozen Empire: it's okay if you can get a $5 ticket to go see it, or even cheaper is better. It's very lazy. It's very dialed in. I hope if they continue to make these, they actually start putting some time into them. It's starting to feel like a Marvel franchise. Anyway, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? And if you liked it, let me know in the comments. I would be interested to see why you liked it. And also let me know what you want to see next. Thanks. Bye.